Hello, this is Mr. Miller. Welcome to video 2E. The title of this video is Missing Measurements in Congruent Figures. This figure kind of illustrates the type of problems we're going to be solving. If these two triangles are congruent, then we can make use of the fact that their matching parts are congruent as well. Because if I can put this triangle on top of this one by reflection, translation, or rotation, then the parts of this triangle will exactly match the parts of this triangle. So, for instance, if I want to find what x is here, I know that angle A corresponds to angle E. So that would mean 112 degrees would have to equal 16x, and then I could solve for it. Or, if I wanted to know what 3x plus 5y, if I wanted to solve for one of those variables, I know that side NR corresponds to side SM. So we could say 41 is equal to 3x plus 5y. So my point is that we're going to solve these problems by looking at matching parts. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at these. Alright, so here's example 1. Our first example doesn't have any variables. We just got to find the missing measurements. Either it's a measurement of an angle or a side. So it says triangle STU is congruent to VWX. So remember, the congruent statement tells me a lot. It tells me angle S matches angle V. So here's angle S that matches angle V. T matches W and U matches X. So if it's not so clear from the figure, we can tell this from the congruent statement. Okay, so the first thing is we want the measure of angle U. That's what this little m here means. That means the measure. So how many degrees is angle U? Well, when I look at angle U, there's nothing there. But what I have to do is look at the corresponding part in the other triangle. If angle X is 18 degrees, angle U has to be 18 degrees also, because they're corresponding parts and they have to be congruent since the triangles are congruent. Alright, now we're going to find measure of angle S, this one right here. S matches V. Again, if I didn't know that, I could look at the congruent statement. S and V are in the same place here, the first place. So angle S equals angle V. Since angle V is 38 degrees, S has to be 38 degrees also. Then the measure of angle W. Okay, there's nothing there, but W matches T, and the measure of angle W has to equal 124. Okay, same for the sides. We want the length of US. When I look at this, I see that US is the longest side. So that has to match the longest side of this triangle. So US would be 43 feet. So it's asking for the length. When it's missing the bar up top, it's talking about the length of the segment. Alright, we want the length of segment UT. UT is this one. Well, UT matches XW, so that'd be 32 feet. And finally, the length of VW, that's the third side. That's the shorty side. So over in this triangle, it's 16, so VW matches that, so VW has to be 16 feet as well. So we're making use of the corresponding parts. Now, this is kind of a very similar thing. It has some more steps because we got to find the value of a variable. Alright, so it says in the figure below the triangles are congruent. Okay, we have to be told that. Okay, so they are, and angle A matches D, B matches E, and C matches F. Okay, find the given side length or angle measures. Here we go. AB, that means the length of side AB. They want to know how long this side is. Well, it matches this side. AB matches DE. So these two have to be equal. So I'm going to write 3x plus 8 equals 5x. The game plan is we're going to solve this, figure out what x is, and go back and figure out how long the side is. So this has a couple steps. The first step is to set up an equation using corresponding parts. Next step is to solve it. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. We've reviewed equations, so hopefully we're okay with this. And then I get 2 times x equals 8. You could backtrack that, but we're simply going to divide by 2. And we get x equals 4. Now, we're not done with this problem yet. because it didn't ask what x was, so we have to answer what they wanted. They asked what AB is, so we have to go back and plug 4 in for x into this. So we get AB equals 3 times 4 plus 8, which would be 20. And the units are inches, so we'll say 20 inches. Okay, so we got to write a relationship. That's the geometry part. The rest is algebra. Solve it and usually go back and substitute. All right, measure of angle D. Here's angle D. What does that match? Well, sometimes the angles kind of look alike. It's hard to tell, but I know from the congruent statement that D matches A. So 6y plus 2 has to equal 5y plus 11. Notice that this 83 degrees here is kind of a distractor. We didn't need that. Okay, so subtract 5y from both sides. And I get 1y, or just y, plus 2 is equal to 11. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And when I combine like terms here, y plus 2 minus 2 is just y plus 0, or y. I get y equals 9. And again, I'm not done yet because I have to go back and I have to substitute in for y. So I have to put a 9 in for y. So I'm going to do that up here. So the measure of angle D would be 6 times 9 plus 2, which is 54, plus 2, which is 56. And the units are degrees. So that would be the final answer. So angle D is 56 degrees. Turns out angle A is 56 degrees also. Okay, I got one more example here. There we go. We got quadrilaterals this time. And again, there's some kind of extra information. We just got to use what we need. So quadrilateral GHIJK is congruent to quadrilateral LMNP. Remember, that tells me which angles match each other. Okay, LM. Where's LM? Oh, there it is. It's this side over here. I gotta figure out what LM matches. Well, if I'm not sure, look here. LM are the first two letters. That has to match GH. GH is right here. Now, we gotta be careful. This right here is the side length, 4x plus 3. 9y plus 17 is the measure of angle H. I don't know, we may need that later, but right now we need the 4x plus 3. Equals 6x minus 13. Those are corresponding sides. Okay, let's subtract 4x from both sides. And 4x minus 4x is 0. I'm left with 3. 6x minus 4x is 2x minus 13. We could backtrack this. But I'm going to kind of keep using this method of adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing both sides by something. That's kind of the usual way of solving. So 3 plus 13 is 16 equals 2x. And if I divide by 2, 16 divided by 2 is 8. And 2x divided by 2 is x. I get x equals 8. Now, I still have to answer the question. So I'm going to go back here. LM is 6x minus 13. So that'd be 6 times 8 minus 13. It's 48 minus 13. I believe you get 35. Okay. So I went back and actually answered it. All right. This is the last part here. So measure of angle H. Okay. We do need this. Angle H is 9y plus 17. And angle H, let me see, that's the second letter that matches angle M, which is 11y minus 1. All right, all algebra. Subtract 9y. We got 17 equals 2y minus 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides because I'm trying to get y by itself. So I get 18 equals 2y. If I divide both sides by 2, I get 9 equals y. I'm pretty happy about that, but I have to find the measure of angle H. So angle H was 9y plus 17. That'd be 9 times 9 plus 17, which is 81 plus 17, which is 98, I believe. Okay. Now, once you get the hang of this, and if you're good at spotting the matching parts, you're going to be fine at this. All right, got 2 problems for you. Time to get out the journals. And in this first problem, there are no variables, so you just gotta find matching parts to find these measurements. First, find the length of side EF. Then for part B, the side of AC. And then for part C, find the measure of angle F. And number 2, you're going to have to write an equation to solve this. So they want to find the length of side QR. That's this side right here. That right there, that's QR. So you got to find the matching side over here, write an equation, find X, and put it back in. All right. We'll look for that in your journal. Talk to you later.